All right, let's talk Oklahoma Sooners. This is a team that's kind of slid under the radar for a lot of different reasons this offseason, but it's clear they need some new additions to step up. And fortunately for Oklahoma, there's one guy in particular that high expectations, but he is blowing through all of them. If you listen to the players and just everybody right now, incredible job by this young Sooner. We'll get into that in just 1 second. But first, I'm Nick. That is Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Oklahoma Sooners are going to have to rely on a lot of newcomers. And look, anytime you have a disappointing season, you need change. You need to shake up the roster, and that's exactly what Oklahoma has done. But now these new guys need to step up, and one of the biggest names in particular has done a great job of it. Let's get into this report, and then we'll talk about it more in detail on the other side. This is courtesy of SI.com. The 6'5", 302-pound Michael Fasusi has gotten plenty of run this spring working with the number one offense. In fact, Fasusi did so well this spring that he was the one at Tuesday's open practice who broke down the team between the stretching individual drills. His teammates circled around him and he shouted some inspirational hype to get them rolling into drills. It hasn't taken Fasusi's teammates long to acknowledge his leadership. We knew day one, said defensive end Taylor Wine, just the way he was coming out, the energy he brings. Fasusi's very patient, Wine said. He's a really good pass setter, really good in run blocking. He was a really high ceiling. He's going to be a dude one day. I think right now he's stepping into a big role. He's learning a lot. We'll just see where that takes him, but the future is really bright. All right, there's been a lot of reporting about Fasusi doing well from the media, from the coaches, and that's all well and good. And we'll certainly take it. But the fact that he has a player on his team, a teammate, especially one on the defensive side of the football, I think that is an incredible sign for Fasusi, a guy the Sooners need to step up. He seems to be poised to have a massive early campaign for Oklahoma. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this, but Sooners fans, you guys first in the comment section below. What other player, we're talking Fasusi right here, but what other new Oklahoma Sooner are you really expecting big things coming from in 2025? Whether it's offense, defense, special teams, give us a new Oklahoma Sooner outside Fasusi. We'll exclude him that you are expecting big things. Let us know who that guy is in the comment section below. But Mize, over to you now. What are your thoughts on Oklahoma, Fasusi, and just everything going on with the Sooners right now?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a great sign for the Sooners going forward because this is a team who came in, Brent Venables, the team really hasn't quite hit the stride that they wanted to under him. They need to make some changes. Going over to the SEC, just a team that there's a lot of, hurdles in front of them. There's one thing in particular I think they needed, and that was a massive overhaul on the offensive line. Get some real good playmakers in there, and they did that. They've got some really good guys coming in. Ryan Foje coming in, doing a lot of good stuff. Fasusi now is another freshman. Fasusi, the highest rated of the two. But the fact that these guys are really stepping up, especially Fasusi, early on and showing what they've got, showing that they can be a leader of this team as a freshman in spring ball, I think that's very impressive, especially when regarding Fasusi. This guy seems like he's got all the physical tools. He's 6'5", 300 pounds. He's really athletic, great build. If you look at him, I mean, this is a guy that he's not, just your typical high schooler that's over 300 pounds, a little chubby, maybe needs some body composition going on. No, this guy is like a grown man, great, athletic build, a great player, really high recruit here. But the fact that he comes in and it seems like he can handle everything going on so far, it seems like he's taken the next level very easily and really started to dominate and now become a leader, breaking his team down. The team can say they noticed the leadership qualities in him, talking about the big role that he's going to step into as a leader of this offensive line and maybe even on the offensive side of the ball in general. I think this is a great sign for this Sooners team. Just having a young leadership direction is going to help turn things around. Break out of the old. Let's get into the new. Have that drive us forward as far as that goes. And, it's not even just the football side of things because it's a little bit of an inconsequential quote, but Brent Venables in that same article, in the same interview, he came out and said something that I thought was very interesting as well. He said, Mike's doing great in football, but man, also, he's gotten A's in all of his classes, and he's done a really good job so far with the schooling aspect. So that's another thing. Going from high school to college and football, that's difficult, but going to high school in college as far as education and things like that, that's another hurdle you have to overcome. So it seems like not only is Fasusi doing great on the football field, being a great leader and taking that next step and just it kind of continuing on. I'm assuming that he's probably a leader of his team in high school, carrying that over to college, but now doing great in the classroom. He has no obstacles, no like distractions, no hurdles. Really great sign for them going forward. I think Oklahoma has a bright star here in Michael Fasusi and is going to help this team make the jump. Fasusi could make the jump. This will be someone who helps the team make the jump to the SEC, rebuilding those trenches, giving them a good shot against some of the bigger teams in college football.
And let's not discount the effect this will have on recruiting and transfers going forward. Because one of the things, if you're a recruiter transfer and you look at different teams, like where are you going to go? You want to go where you have the most impact, both as a player in terms of playing time and performance, but also as a leader and involvement with the team. And one of the things with Oklahoma is they've obviously underperformed certainly the last couple seasons. Changing to the SEC, I mean, it's hit them like a ton of bricks if we're being totally honest. But the reality is, if you want to bring in top flight recruits and bring in top flight transfers, you need to give them a reason to come. And the reason you come to Oklahoma is you get to put your image, your style at the top of this program if you earn it. If you've got Michael Fasusi being a guy who can earn it, then it's sending a message that, hey, listen, Venables and company, they're not going to just sit here, well, you're a transfer, oh, you're a freshman. You're not going to have any sort of impact. You're going to be buried on the bench like the way Nick Saban would do at Alabama in a lot of cases. For example, Kirby Smart, Georgia did this in a lot of cases. What Venables is doing said, listen, we ain't there yet. We got a lot of things we got to clean up. We got a lot of things we got to fix. We got some issues. If you're a top flight recruit, you're a top flight transfer, and you want to come in and kind of, if you've earned it, you got good leadership qualities, and you're a good football player, come in, put your mark on this program. And that does have an impact on recruiting. One of the things that can really hurt even good programs that are winning a lot of football games in the recruiting department, is recruits are like, am I going to sit there for 2 to 3 years or maybe 5 years, right? I'm going to sit on the bench for 2 years. In the meantime, you're going to bring in five other top flight recruits at my position. I may never see the field. I may never have an impact to just showcase what I can do. Now at Oklahoma, if you're a freshman or you're a transfer or a guy considering transferring, you're like, okay, I can go to Oklahoma. I can compete for playing time right now. They'll give me that playing time if I earn it. And at the same time, if I want to step up my leadership game or be involved in other ways, then I'll be able to do that too, right? Opportunity is a huge motivator. That's, I think, the big summation here. And you have to present potential prospects with the opportunity to be successful. And that's what Oklahoma has done by empowering Fasusi. Now, let's give Fasusi a lot of credit in his own right for doing a good job with it, right? It's one thing to have the opportunity from a program perspective. It's another thing that players take advantage of it. And that's what Fasusi, being the level of recruit that he was, taking advantage of this opportunity is such a great sign for the Sooners. Right now, Oklahoma, they need big names to step up. They need their big guys to step up, not just big guys in the trenches, but just their big name prospects overall. They need their stars to emerge. If you look at past years of Oklahoma success, going back just the past couple of decades or so, one of the things that they've always had is just uber talented guys when the roster maybe wasn't as deep, carrying the team where they needed to go. And we've seen this, of course, over the, even during the Lincoln Riley era. I know a lot of guys don't like that name, but that was a true thing. Stoops era as well. Oklahoma has lost that under Venables. They've lost that peak level elite star talent stepping in and taking over the program day one. I remember growing up and seeing Adrian Peterson, the first time seeing him, like, oh my God, this guy's special as a freshman. Oklahoma has kind of missed that. I think Fasusi is one of those guys who could be that kind of guy and be the first of many guys like that going forward for Oklahoma. And just one final point to end on here when it comes to this with this young talented kid here. I love how across the board he's crushing it. We talk about corroborating evidence all the time on this channel. It's one thing if a guy in media likes a player. It's one thing if a coach likes a player. It's one thing if a teammate likes a player. But when everybody is saying good things and the player is executing, not just in terms of football field, but in the classroom as well, that's an indication that something special is going on. If a player excels everywhere, it usually means he's an exceptional kind of guy. And that's exactly what we're seeing across the board when it comes to Fasusi.
Yeah, Nick, and I think, like you said, talking about guys that come out early as freshmen or players that are really important and just step in and wow you. If you look at the overall all-time commitments to Oklahoma, and you look at the players that are around that area, he's in great company. Well, there's one name on the list that's kind of like more controversial. So, but number one all-time recruit, Adrian Peterson. Like you said, he steps out on the field, boom, looked really good. Number two, a little more controversial and some ups and downs, a transfer guy, and he had some issues. But Rhett Bomar, a guy, quarterback, came to Oklahoma, kind of got dismissed by the program a little bit for some, whatever is going on. But number three, Fasusi, and then number four, Caleb Williams. So those three of the top four are guys that are already making a really good impact on this team. Caleb Williams, Adrian Peterson, when those guys stepped onto the field immediately, wow, what an incredible level of talent that has hit the field, something we have not seen before in such a long time. And I think it's Fasusi. He's in that grouping. He's showing already signs. This could be the next one. This could be the next big talent that we have at Oklahoma. And it's great to be in the offensive line, hitting the SEC, having an offensive lineman that potentially has the makeup and has the ratings and the evaluation to be as effective or impressive as Adrian Peterson or Caleb Williams was. It's good company. A lot of big shoes to fill. It's a big jump to say by spring ball that that's something that's going to happen already. But I think just the fact that he's in that grouping, he's as highly rated as those guys were, really, really good sign for this team going forward. So again, really exciting stuff for Oklahoma. I hope this bounces them back in the right trajectory. Disappointing the last couple seasons, but I think we're starting to see signs that this season could be different, especially with Michael Fasusi on it.